Hello, Galaxy. I'm Chris Perillo, and I'm not sure how long tonight's stream is going to be. Never mind me, I'm licking my mic. Well, not directly, but there was some schmutz there. How the hell does my mic have so much crap on it? Okay, seriously, this is driving me nuts. Give me a second. Let me wipe down my mic. Apparently, it's all messy. Good to see everybody. Printer team, Future the Clown, Pez Liz, Winzang, great to see you. The reason why I may be having a short evening tonight is because our school district is having a... Oh, Datavar! Thank you for resubbing!
Datavar just resubscribed for 18 months.
They're having a Zoom, like, not exactly an orientation, but like a Q&A, with a Zoom Q&A, and that starts at 6:30 my time, so in about 15 minutes. And I told Diana to come get me. Hopefully they record it. She may have to ask about that, but so I need to make sure my mic is all sparkling. Well, it doesn't sparkle. I've definitely used the mic to destroy other things. It is harmed my my computer. It just dinged it. I could see the ding very clearly, and the only way that the ding would exist is specifically because of the oops. I accidentally just launched into a web page. Did not mean to do that. Anyway, so that's what's happening. Yes, I know, big fan. I generally will check Shop Disney when they send out emails. Sometimes throughout the week they launch new Star Wars products. They don't make it easy though. I wish there was like a notification where they would just send you, say, hey, there's a new thing available. Like, really? Cool. Very nice. Very nice. I would like that, but it's extremely expensive. Now, speaking of extremely expensive things, I need to tell you that we're still doing the charity fundraising drive for, well, here it's on Tiltify, Standing Up to Cancer. And it turns out, get this, if you donate, you're going to be entered into, I guess, a drawing. Oh, speaking of, we got a ding. Who dinged me? Oh, 3D Printy Joe just dinged. Well, 3D Printy Joe, your timing is impeccable. Because if the not our campaign, like not our leg of the campaign, but the overarching campaign of which we're a part of, if we reach 20,000, brickerbuilds.com will contribute a life-size Lego Darksaber. Anybody who's contributed.
Kiwins rated my stream with 5 viewers.
Well, hello there, Crazy Kiwi NZ. It said Crazy Kiwins, but oh, hang on, sorry, my 3D printer view wasn't working. Oh, we got a donation for Stand Up to Cancer. Pez Liz coming in with 1010. Let me see if I can get my other view going here. Is that gonna work? There we go. Now it makes a lot more sense. Either way, hey, Crazy Kiwi, what were you doing? What were you up to? Were you making? Were you playing? You can help with money, so I rate you. Oh, okay, you can't. Hey, no worry, Crazy. No worries. You know, we'll welcome people in. What were you up to? Me? I was just, I was printing today. And I continue to print right now. When I'm not on MakerDeck, we have a few people who are on MakerDeck, including Steve Lyons, who's done, or almost done. He's just off camera. Kieran, who's down under as well. I don't know if I can I say it that way? Is that fair for me to say? Is doing it. Silver Sunbeam's there. Monsoon Josh, Fix 'em Dude, Custom Creations, Stephen Bueller, Gourmet Crepe, and someone who's going to ERF. At least one other person who's going to ERF. Many people going to ERF. Missed the Shop Disney app? Oh yeah, see, honestly, oh, you do, Crazy? You were doing, the Lego Razor Crest? Nice. The only Razor Crest that I had, I did the little one, the micro build, because I'm a minifigure guy. That was Imperial, I see. The only Razor Crest I really liked was when I backed the big one, the Hasbro one, but I really like the Mission Fleet Razor Crest the most. I haven't got a full-on collection of Razor Crests or anything like that. Yeah, I don't know. I was never really a vehicle guy. I've said that, to the point where here's what I printed today. I printed a Clone Trooper figure. that articulates. It's very, these joints on the Clone Trooper are like super tight. Super, super tight. And I was going through the filament, wasn't sure what else I was going to do, although I probably need to load the white to go overnight to do another skull. Right before the stream on Maker Deck, I was printing these little Clone Trooper helmets. These should fit on Lego minifigures. Like there's a hole for the... So this is a minifigure scale Phase 2 Clone Trooper that I printed in the silk white and then painted with a little paint pen. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised. I'm like, you know, that didn't turn out half bad with the paint job. I'm like, so I may end up painting a few others like that. It's possible. It's entirely possible. You know, as long as I got the paint app right for Phase 2. Oh! What do we have here? We have another donation. Kieran Clark donating $20. Stand Up to Cancer. You're now entered to be the recipient for the original Lego, well, originally with original bricks, but Bricker Builds made a full-on Darksaber. In another $25 or $24 or so, I'll walk barefoot on Lego bricks because it'll be another $100 increment. Sorry, I can't say. Oh, no worries, crazy. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you. It's very appreciated. Glad you could be here. To at least see that this counts as Lego, right? Here, let me. Did I do the nipples there, right? Those nipples in the front nipples. I also need to. I mean, there's black underneath, but you can't really see it on this, unfortunately. Hi. Come on, man. Why are my keyboard shortcuts suddenly going wonky? Here we go. Oh, I see. I'm jumping left and right. Apparently, my mouse cursor just does not want to play nicely. So, I wonder, can I... I'm going to do something which may ruin this helmet. I'm going to try painting in between. I'm going to try to get the crack, the crevice. By the way, right now I'm doing a 2-color E-Sun Lego stud. I had one that was blue, red, green, but not a blue-green. So it was sitting here, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'll do this right now, and then maybe after I'll start a... I don't know if I want to do a Dark Trooper or a Snow Trooper. I may do a Dark Trooper. I may try this, the Dark Trooper. Give me a second. Let me see if this is how well this works. Don't want to overpaint. Okay, that didn't work too badly. Got it in under there. Okay, that works. So not bad for a little custom paint job. So for an easy Clone Trooper minifigure helmet, a makeshift minifigure helmet. Do I have one? I've got a minifigure over here. I'm gonna put it on here. There we go. I'm gonna try getting it. Here we go. It needs... Ooh, that needs to be cleared out. Got some stuff in there. I don't know if it's a perfect fit. I say stuff, there's some filament scrap. By the way, did you get the push notification? It said, watch me make my filament disappear. It's because I'm using it. It goes through the printer, comes out something else. This is a little tedious. Oh no, oh no. Don't want to get my hands in the paint, otherwise it'll smear everywhere. ruin your trip real quick. I'm getting the, apparently there's a bit of the crossing the overhangs. I may have to like redo this model. Get on there. Get on there. Is it gonna go? I don't know if it's gonna go. It should be. There we go. No. Say it fits on there tightly enough. I was trying to be careful with the thing, but anyway, yeah. It's I'd say it's enough of a win. Not bad for quote unquote free. You know what I'm saying? Although I guess this helmet's feeling kind of loose anyway, so maybe it's the figurehead. Hey, Maker Viking. Good to see you. Hope your day is going well this Thursday. Bob, howdy. We're going to browse everybody's makes here. Let's do that. Clear that away. Popping over to Discord here. Sneaky peek. The one printer I have no cams for from Flying Drop Bear. It's a big printer. Listen to the suction of a 15-inch plate and weep. Oh, see, I can't. Yeah, the audio doesn't pipe through on that. Oh, Westery's Fievel that she printed on MakerDeck. Designed by Ryan McAlee of Inspire 3D. Playmaker Galaxy Red. On the Kaiwu Tycoon Max. Somewhere out there, someone's printing stuff. Fix'em Dude comes in with a Pi 0 and 2 slim cases printed on MakerDeck. I soldered headers onto one of my Pi Zeros, so I need to find a case for that too. So what's this do? So is that's a Raspberry Pi, yeah? So it's a case for a Raspberry Pi. For which you can do so many things if you're a programmer. 4 a.m. wake up so I can cure the mouse. Oh man. Flying Drop Bear, that is dedication. That is deep dedication. I was fast asleep then. Bugs Bunny and Elmer Fudd by Red Dad Steve on Printables from Cioris. Good job with that. Yeah. What's up, Doc? Good. I think that was an MMU print, I'd assume, with these. The only Looney Tunes things I have are the Lego minifigures. Just like about the only Muppets I have are the Lego minifigures. Although I'm hoping and praying for 5 POA one day, like vintage Kenner style. Snoopy Diorama Last Days of Summer from Trevor. 3D prints. Snoopy. I've tried to get Jedi into Looney Tunes and Snoopy, but she lightly dances, around them. Doesn't get into them. Reprinted my number 2 trophy on the Ender. Number 2. We're number 2. Same filament, rainbow silk. Ooh, what's that? Mad Cat got an upward dog. I think that's Chelsea. She rated MakerDeck today. Oh, it's not MMU. You painted it then, Cioris. Wow, good job. I'm pretty sure that's Chelsea's. Yeah? Who rated MakerDeck? After her tweet there. Oh, wow. Sorry, we were getting our backyard. Things were getting cleaned. Things got cleaned out big time. Big time. So I got pictures there. So there's that model, huh? So it's We're number 2, the Turd Award. We're number 2. We're number 2. Hello, No More 3. Oh, was it? It looked like, I think when I saw, and this is gonna look weird for you, but it looked like the eyes were painted of Elmer Fudd's. I know that may not look very balanced on your side, but printed every part in different color. Oh, okay, so it is different parts. Interesting. Okay. That's doable then. That's very doable. All right, popping over to the Twitters. Not a lot of activity today. The dog days of summer. Scrolling through. There's Mad Cat doing the upper dog. Not sure what filament he used, and I'm fairly confident it's Chelsea, but someone else may have to ask. Custom Creations tweeting out that they're doing Death Racer Earth 2022. And the good news is Polymaker is donating filament for people who are doing that. I don't know if you caught that detail. Oh, it's all printed on the Mini Sierras. Nice. Grant 3D Musketeers coming in with a new Wexter model. Or at least a Wexter model, the Joker. This wonderful animation. God, even printing a base. Yeah, that gyroid infill is camera candy. And there's the final product, the final bust. Busted. Tatum. This is cool. So we rated Tatum last night. Had some fun drawing another streamer's emote with the 3D pin last night. We also reached 444 followers, means time to plan and put into action a 24-hour stream. So he, like, on his stream last night, 3D printer penned this emote. This is hilarious. Isn't that awesome? I'm so glad we rated him again. There's a shot from last night. Again, the poster. You can get not the metal one. We're not selling that in the store because it's not. I don't think that's an option available. The metal, but you can order a poster of that. You can get it on a T-shirt. You can get it on a mug. You can get it on a hat. I think it looks really nice as a regular old sign. I'm telling you, there's gonna be a speaking of comics, I have some comics, or I have a comic. Let me see here. Is this gonna be a pain? No, it's not. Well, we'll see. This is the new comic. This is the only. I didn't really have any pickups today. I came close. I had gone to I went thrifting, and they had in a baggie. They had not Egon. I think it was Peter Venkman, the Kenner Ghostbusters figure. I mean, I was like, oh, dude, I almost grabbed it because it would have been like $5 or whatever. It was in a whole bunch with a whole bunch of other things. I'm like, yeah, I'll pass. Just for today, okay. Anyway, so I was interested, and then I went online and looked to see what the other ones might run, and it was broken. Like it was the one with the arm where you squeeze the arm and the eyeballs pop out and the hair goes. Do you remember those figures? That was it. And so I passed. I was like, yeah. So then I got online. I was kind of curious. I'm like, I wonder what a Ghostbuster set of figures, from the 80s or 90s. Well, it would have been the 80s, yeah. Would run the real Ghostbusters, and found a few. I'm like, okay, that's about for about 4 vintage figures. It might run about with accessories. Might run around $120. Okay, that's somewhat reasonable. But the thing is like so many there are modern versions of those figures that were almost as expensive. I'm like, well, if you're gonna spend the money, why get the retro version? Just spend a little more and get the vintage. So I thought that was odd to see, but nonetheless, I ordered a second Cobra set so that I can open them, and I've got one. Give me a second. Because this is the problem. Is like inevitably I look and I'm like, yeah, I think I'll be fine with one, and then I looked again. I'm like, yeah, but that robot would be really, really nice to have. So I decided to go that route. That was my choice to go that route. Wait, is that? Oh, here. You can cancel. There's certain things you can cancel for your pile of loot. on Big Bad Toy Store, and I usually let things pile up. Like I don't I'm careful. Big Bad Loot or Big Bad Toy Store I like because you can have a pile of loot and shipping is only $4. It's reasonable. They're a little more expensive, but I'd rather stack it up and then pay just a little bit for shipping. I mean, it probably balances out in the end, but it's always worked out for me. And then generally speaking, I'm able to get the stock that I was looking for. Okay, this box is probably going to get destroyed. Angels are crying. Why is this not wanting to? I don't want to destroy the box yet. It's not taped down anywhere. Oh. Weird. Yeah, this thing's kind of broken anyway. Let's see if I can salvage anything out of here. Oops. Well, I ripped it now. Hey, Vegan Legion. Was not expecting to rip it. Oh, I gotta hold on to. So we got Cobra Air Trooper. So I got a couple of cards on here. I gotta cut out for my files. Yeah, nothing interesting on this cardboard. Kind of boring cardboard tray. But this Snake Eyes has a hat. Oh man. Crackers. That was really not wanting to come out. So this would have been Shipwreck. Shipwreck. Right there. Hey, Digital Dark Knight. Just playing with my G.I. Joes. Watched some G.I. Joe today. Timberwolf. Yeah. You know, I think I'm going to cut through this because this plastic just seems really hard. Like, these things are not going to move around. You ever had that problem trying to get something out of plastic? Super 7 is definitely not moving to frustration-free packaging. Man. It's gonna be a challenge. How am I gonna get that out? Can you hear it squeaking? Can you? Sounds like my knees. Oops. Yeah. See that got sticky. I don't know what's going on with that. And if you miss an accessory, heaven help you. There's a fine line. You know, there's a fine line between making it, you know, presentable on the shelf and, you know, going to remove any one of the pieces. And it's when you go to remove any one of the pieces that it becomes a problem. Because the tape, unfortunately, gets tied up, and then this tape is really sticky. The residue is really bad. Okay, I got Snake Eyes out. Now this Snake Eyes, this is it's a variant Snake Eyes because the other Snake Eyes didn't have a hat. This Snake Eyes does have a hat. It's a variant. Just what I needed, another variant Snake Eyes. Alright, Timberwolf here. Hey, where's Bob Carnes? Bob Carnes. Bob would be happy. Bob would be very happy with this wolf. I think, what was it? Was it Timberwolf? What was the wolf's name? The one that came with Snake Eyes. Gave your son all your G.I. Joes. Oh, nice! Voice print. This comes a little chintzy. This is the way it was, man. It's just cheap, chintzy. Just a regular old sticker. What made the set though is the robot, honestly. So we got Cobra Troopers with basically like jetpacks. That's a nice accessory there. I'd imagine. Does it come off? I don't know if it comes off. Yeah, I don't want to force it. So basically, jetpack troopers. Nice to have. Good variants, I feel. Army builders, right? That's the way you look at them. Army builders. He destroyed most of them. No. Was it Airwolf? I don't think it was Airwolf. The wolf was Snake Eyes' wolf. I would say Timberwolf. I don't know. For some reason, trying not to cut myself. This right here. This is the reason. This stupid. I mean, I say stupid, but like. This thing right here, this figure, this is the reason I wanted the entire set. Just this thing right here. This. Again, I was always a fan of the robots, the cyborgs. Boy, oh boy. The head came right off. That wasn't a good sign. It popped right off. It's on there now. Timber? Was it Timber? Okay. I thought when I was saying Timberwolf, I guess it was just Timber. But I was close. Give me credit. I was close. Hey, Kanowit. Thank you for being here. See, a lot of the vintage items that I've given Jedi are typically in bad shape anyway. They're not in perfect shape. She would easily destroy the Joes, though. The Joes are easily destroyable with their O-rings. Which most of them need to be replaced. That's why I'm glad, I'll never have to replace O-rings on these. Yep, that's the thing. The O-ring, they call them O-rings. But you can replace them. They're easily replaced. There are many of those bands that are you can get to replace. It doesn't take that much. I haven't replaced any of mine because they're not getting a lot of play at this point. I have right now just one of them out. I have the Cobra Commander. I don't think I ever got the hooded Cobra Commander. I just had the original one with the mask, right? Or the metal mask, for lack of a better descriptor. So I never had the hooded one. The hooded one was a mail away, I think. And I remember it was after high school. I remember in college, I remember seeing like the quote-unquote new Cobra Commander, and it was just like he had a completely different outfit. And pretty much after Serpentor, it seems, that's when I kind of stopped following a lot of Joe stuff. Your Zartan still changes color? Nice! I haven't tried the Super 7 Zartan yet. I think it does change color in the sunlight, though. The Super 7 Zartan. So they did that right. I'm glad they did. Honoring the original. For a kid, toys in the 80s, that was something special right there. Oh, you used rubber bands? No. You get the official, not official, but like get like super quality O-rings and you'll be happier, I think. Memories tonight? Hey man, that's what I'm here for, Digital Dark Knight. If nothing else, I am here for the memories. I wax nostalgic. I don't mind. Yeah, usually like in the afternoon, if I have bandwidth and like the wherewithal and nothing else, going on. As I'm kind of puttering around, I'll have on YouTube. I'll have weekday afternoon, cartoons, 80s cartoons, things like that, and just like play those kinds of shows. And then sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, I haven't seen that cartoon in ages. Then I'll try searching for that, and then just let it go on autoplay. I have my favorites, right? G.I. Joe. That's easy to do, G.I. Joe, because Hasbro's uploaded so many of the episodes. Transformers is a little more of a challenge. Do I take... Dude, don't you... Aren't you the one who has a fascination with napping, Rabbi? No, I do not. I don't nap very well at all. 70s and 80s kids, we still have our toys and play with them? Yeah, mostly. Mostly. I don't have all of mine, unfortunately. I kept the ones that I feel have mattered most. How do you manage to hold nostalgic down and wax it? Oh, it's easy, Bob. It's very easy. You gotta hit it hard over the head. Just... Okay. Did Jedi come in? So, see, I never had any of the Transformers. I only got the Transformers, really, the Super 7 stuff, and dabbled with here and there. Like, the only one that I have that I might have wanted, like a real Transformer, was the Wreck-Gar, the Weird Al Yankovic Wreck-Gar. I've got that now in my office. Here, in the play shop. Oh, Buck Rogers collection. I never had that. Twiki, though, if I could find... I've every so often, I'll like, search for those vintage items. But I'm just like, I don't know if I can justify it. I mean, I have light memories of Buck Rogers. But not like, oh, yeah. Yeah. It's weird, we remember. I mean, it's even like, as I was saying, finding the real Ghostbusters Peter Venkman today had me looking and just like, I remember watching the cartoon. Never really, I don't remember getting into it. I mean, it was there, and I would watch it, but I didn't get into it for whatever reason. And it could have been that it aired at a time in my life that I was doing other things. You were so poor, this would be like magic. I changed all that. It's so great to get nostalgic. Yes, Vegan Legion. I can't say that we were poor. I'd say we were squarely middle class. We couldn't get everything that we wanted, that's for sure. Jedi has a hell of a lot more than I ever did. Yo, hell yeah, I watched Looney Tunes. Yep, Saturday mornings and weekday afternoons, depending on where they're airing. Yeah, Tom and Jerry too. Pink Panther. The lot. Anyway, so it sent me down the path of like, I wonder how much the vintage figures are, right? And I feel like what's out there right now is relatively reasonable, relatively. But there's some things that I'm just like, yeah, I'm fine in not getting retro or going vintage with things, like going Super 7. Like, I'm not gonna go and collect old Joes. I'm gonna be fine with basically completing, I don't know if I'm gonna say completing, but getting the G.I. Joe Super 7 5 POA reaction figures. They're good quality. I mean, generally good quality. The plastic's good. The paint app is good. Feel is good. I mean, it is. Limbs are typically always really tight. Sometimes too tight. But I love that Hasbro has allowed Super 7 to run with the G.I. Joe and the Transformers licenses. I guess Mattel got pissy with the He-Man. That's the reason why He-Man did not. Whoa! So I'm sorry. Am I on the wrong? I'm on the wrong screen. Everybody, this is the right screen.
Subsector 3D rated my stream with 22 viewers.
I'm sorry. Subsector. So I have been watching C on Apple TV Plus, and it's really good. I don't know if you have Apple TV Plus. It's not exactly sci-fi, but it's kind of in the same. I'd put it in the same category as sci-fi. dystopian future and whatnot. It may be you may enjoy it. I've been enjoying it. I've seen I saw reviews of it, but it wasn't it didn't seem to be that compelling. Like maybe. And then someone jumped in here, Sci-Fi Gal jumped in here a few weeks ago, and we were talking about sci-fi shows, and we were talking about the Orville specifically. And she had said C is great. I'm like, all right, I'll watch C, and she was right. I was hooked from the first episode, and yeah, C is a good series. Severance is also very good. Jerry, I don't disagree. Severance is more of a slow burn though, but it's good. It's a slow burn, but it's good, as opposed to Invasion, which is a slow burn and not that good. Apple TV Plus is one of the better products that Apple has produced in recent years. Your son moved in with you, so you're sure. Oh, yeah, of course, Subsector. I mean, that's a bonus. That's a benefit. Yeah, well, you can make the rule, right? You can say, hey, if you're here, then I need access to all your streaming accounts. You can save money. Why not? You gotta be careful, though. Like, you're doing it outside your household, they can track you, right? Ugh. You binged Orville on the recommendation, really liked it. Hey, no problem, Dandrak. I'd like to believe that my recommendations, when they come along, are there's typically there's a reason I recommend things. I will tell you. I'll let you know going into it. Like, okay, this is what to expect. But like, see, I basically binged the first season. Is now under my belt. Now going into the second season, because they're about ready to release the third season of C. So there was no time like the presence to start that. Okay, give me. And by the way, Subsector, what were you working on? I gotta ask. Not to interrupt myself, but what were you up to? Working on Polymaker Smooth project. Oh, nice. I've been really happy with the Polymaker Silk White. I don't know if you've had a chance to try it yet, but it is astonishing. It's really good. So I've been printing a whole bunch of figures, go figure, in it, including this Dark Trooper, which is clearly not a Dark Trooper. It is a White Trooper. If you're looking for something a bit more, let me see here. Give me a second. I'm looking for a white. Give me a second. So, this is the Polyterra White and the Silk White. Let me hold them up side by side here. Hey, Kinemer. It goes well. Just showing Subsector. Here's the Polymaker I've been using. So, on the this is the Polyterra White, and this is the Silk White. So really, they're close to each other. I mean, obviously one's got a duller finish as opposed to the shinier finish, but up close, the Silk White is still white. It's a little creamier though, and that could be the sheen to it. Let me see if I can. So this is whiter. This one is definitely in to my eye whiter and creamy, silky, shiny white. That's the difference between these two stormtroopers, basically, in terms of color. What printed that? The Midnight Smith? This is those are play action toys. Here, bang, play action. And while everybody's here, let me once again remind you that we are we're raising money for Stand Up to Cancer, and that is something that you may want to take advantage of because Brick Builders the Brick Builders on Twitch are doing this, and if they reach the overarching goal of 20,000, then the brickerbuilds.com is going to be giving away a full-size or a life-size Lego Darksaber. And they do those types of mocks effectively for hang on just a second. Okay, there we go. Okay. So anyway, for those who are curious, anybody who's donated for that bang tilt is where you get more information on that, or you can use the widget here on the on my profile page on the stream page. But either way, the idea would be that you would be entered automatically, which is really cool. So they're doing that.
Iris Amelia just resubscribed for 17
Oh, Iris.
months. Holy
How you doing?
And ravioli. Happy 17, Chris Perillo. Hope you've been well.
I have been doing well. I could ask you the same thing. How have you been? What's been going on in your neck of the woods? This week we're raising money to fight cancer. Along with other brick builders here on Twitch. You can do a bang tilt to get the information. Bang tilt. Someone just did it. Dan Drac just donated 20 to stand up to cancer. That puts us at 521. Oh, did I miss it earlier? I gotta walk barefoot on Lego bricks because we passed another $100. Passed another 100. Doing all right. You got the plague. Oh no, that's not good. Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster, indeed. So Midnight Smith, no, they're figures. You've seen me. You've seen me print these things like 1,000 times. I swear. Midnight Smith. I made them. It takes like 2 hours, and then you assemble them. The play action toys. Come on. Seriously? Check it out. Check them out. I mean, some of them, the newer ones, are easier to put together than the older ones. The older ones can be a bit more of a challenge. I just did them on the Prusa Mini because I don't have Midnight Smith. I do not have my bamboo is still. I don't know what's going on. I haven't heard from Will in about a week, so I don't know. They are multicolor because I printed the headpiece separate in a different filament color, obviously, than the white, and they articulate too. These are like Playmobil action figures, kind of. Maybe they stand a little taller than Playmobil, because let me hold up the. Well, here I'm going to show you. Here's the real multicolor thing. Hey, Triple Venti. This one's multicolor and painted. But here's the AT-AT driver alongside. Here, let me go here. Wide here. Play Action Toys AT-AT driver versus the vintage AT-AT driver, and they stand about the same scale at this point. But this one was modeled after the vintage AT-AT driver. That's what I was kind of going for when I was giving him feedback. I think he's going to do one more chest revision before releasing. I hope he does. And I may end up printing this one in a larger. I may end up doing this one at 200%. The printer is getting a new tool head board and being tested thoroughly. Oh, was that a big deal, Midnight Smith? Was it? I mean, it was definitely nothing I did that I know of. I don't know anything about the complexities of it. I just assume it's in hand, but I hadn't heard anything, so I figured it was something that was very complex. You're going to ask, does your watch pair with the iPhone? No, it doesn't. It's a Samsung watch, so it pairs with Android only. But when the bamboo's back, I may end up doing like a 200 scale sized AT-AT driver. Again, it'd be bigger, but I had to do like multicolor base, multicolor legs, multicolor arms. But it's easy enough to do on the Prusa that I may just do it on the Prusa. Not a big deal. It just seems like a bad board. Mass production things happen, especially at scale. Yeah, okay, that's cool. Do whatever. I assume I miss it though. I will say that I do miss it. Someone messaged me today, and I messaged Key, Midnight Smith. They were asking, hey, how easy is it to stream the onboard camera from within the bamboo into MakerDeck? That's not the first request that we've seen. So I made sure I passed it to Key. He says, yeah, maybe at a later date. Totally understand. I'm just letting you know this person was on the fence. That would tilt the, according to this person, it would tip them over into getting one. So I'm not gonna say who, because I don't want to bring anybody out. They didn't want to be out about it. But anyway, I thought it was an interesting question. I was like, I don't know. Here's how I do it. This, I just do a live desktop screen capture of the video preview, and then I just take OBS Studio and just crop in there, and then do that inside of OBS. It need to be an RTSP. Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. I just do a screen capture. That's my recommendation for everybody who's using the Bamboo. For that is to do a screen capture. Easy enough. My only concern with doing the multicolor on the Bamboo is that I had issues with the filament kind of getting caught up on itself in the rollers. So I would be a little concerned about that, but that's the next thing that I would like to potentially attempt, a larger AT-AT driver, 200%. Because I've printed so many of these types of figures, but they're always like at 100%, which is fine for me because I like the way the figurines are, right? Like the Clone Trooper. But if I were to do one double scale, you'd think, oh, Chris, do a Darth Vader. No, I'm like, no. He also is about ready to release a pretty much perfect Snow Trooper. And the Snow Trooper, I think, will work well with other filament colors beyond white. The AT-AT driver, not so much. I feel the AT-AT driver, quote-unquote, shines with multiple colors like this. Might be different than yours, but worth a check when you get it back. Similar issue, had the PTFE tube. No. The problem is the spools, the way the spools are wound, they go off kilter in the AMS. I don't think it's the PTFE tube. I know what happens. I've even taken pictures and sent them. I'm like, cardboard spools, even with plastic reinforcements on the Bamboo, have been problematic for me. Anyway, I love that AT-AT driver. Love it. It's funny how, like, the shelves behind me, it used to be just all Vader. Like, Vader. And then it started to morph into, okay, I'm going to put this here. I'm going to put this here now. Yeah, seriously, Midnight Smith, check into Play Action Toys. You'll love them. Seriously, you'll love them. You can't sell them. He doesn't have the license available for that. Although if he did allow people to sell these, I would. I would sell Star Wars figures. I would. I mean, I don't know if I do that online. Actually surprised most companies don't make streaming ready wireless 3D printer. Free advertising thing would be worth it, especially if the logo is always present. Potentially Dandrak. Although with MakerDeck, we're always careful. Like if you have something organically in the scene on MakerDeck, it's fine. But we're careful with overlays on MakerDeck because it could get really overwhelming very, very quickly. There are exceptions to the rule. Specifically, like we have a goal bar for the current tips on MakerDeck, like that Liz runs or I might run. We're pretty close to getting a stretch goal. I think we've got to do a little bit more programming leading up to IRF, and that I think will put us over to the top for that stretch goal. Getting, interactions going. Sorry about that. I thought I had this turned on again. Nope, wrong button. I can't read. There we go. I had it frozen on the webpage. We were browsing everybody's makes earlier, and sometimes if I don't see something and no one says anything, then I completely forget about it. There are free podcasts about there are podcasts about everything. YouTube launched a podcast page. Oh. Did y'all see on YouTube? Just on a whim, Jedi shot this little stupid video. It's a minute long. It's not that. It's really not that long. She shot this stupid, like, okay, stupid's the wrong word. This little video of, like, it was just impromptu. She just started recording, and here's the link, and it just felt very vloggy to me. Yeah, you thought the vlogs were. I know, Triple Venti. It felt vloggy to me. Just kind of, I was like watching it. I'm like, all right, this is actually, this is kind of funny. We were just caught in the moment, out of context. Diana was apologizing for something. I'm like, I wanted to get it on camera. I'm like, okay, record it. And then she was like trying to pop my back, I think. And so that's I was like, I just uploaded it. I'm like, let's see where it goes. And so yeah, I threw that up there. And surprisingly enough, more people watched that than anything else. Not that I want to get back into the vlogging thing, because you need everybody's buy-in to do that. I can't do that. I can't do it alone. It was not a teaser. There's nothing else behind it. Hang on just a second. Let me walkie-talkie Diana if she has it on. I can't walkie-talkie you, Diana, unless you're letting me walkie-talkie. Is it worth watching? The Zoom meeting. Are they recording it? I tried to walkie-talkie you, but you have it turned off again, so I don't know if we're going to keep using it. And what's the point of, like, having an app installed, they don't turn it on? Like, I don't know. The walkie-talkie app on the Samsung Watch, kind of half-baked. Not great. Not amazing. Not what it should be. You freeze all your fruit? What? But it loses its consistency. It's not. I don't know. I feel like I want to eat it fresh. I want to have it like fresh, crunchy, whatever. I feel the same way about vegetables. Like the worst thing you can do is freeze a starch. It tastes horrible afterwards. It just loses all consistency. Anything with water in it that you freeze will lose its consistency. Anything. And texture to me it trumps flavor. Texture trumps flavor. I mean, flavor's important. Don't get me wrong, but I'm all about the texture too. And of course, Diana's not paying attention. Yeah. Oops. Did I? The walkie-talkie, she turned it on. Well, yeah, I was gonna ask how the meeting thing was, if you're watching it. And now she's not responding. What am I printing, Digital Dark Knight? I am printing a two-color eSun filament Lego stud. I've printed these before. I've got a whole stack of them. I understand, but I eat it as frozen snack. Oh yeah, Diana does the same thing. The problem is if she doesn't get to it and I'm ready to get to it. That back crack stretch looked very satisfying. You're very lucky. Yes, Dandrak. I wouldn't. Vlogging is not a problem. I can't be the only one. Like it takes more than one person to do. I think Jedi's willing and interested, but like she just picked up the camera, she shot something silly, and I'm like, all right. People responded. It was kind of surprising to me, but you missed the mail time. Well, we kind of do it here, but like we don't get a lot of mail apart from what's normally sent, or picked up, if you will. Oops. Well, I guess Diana's engrossed in her show. Well, not show, her the meeting. She's not. Oh my God. In the traditional modern deck of cards, the King of Hearts is different from the other kings because of what? What's the difference of the King of Hearts compared to other kings in a traditional deck of cards? Frozen grapes? Yeah, frozen grapes might be fun. I just got a ton of grapes. I can't eat them for some reason, though. I mean, I can eat them. It's just for some reason, I don't know, they wreak havoc. The fruit wreaks havoc on my digestive system. Nope, it's not the way he's looking. Not the way he's looking. Not that you know of. Oh, I owe you a brick walk, don't I? Pull it out. He's got a mustache. Or no, he doesn't have a mustache. It froze. There, is that better? Weird. It froze. Mark Hamill promoting Jack in the Box. Yeah, I saw. Alright, you can't see it that way, so let's go to this view. I also think I heard the follower bell, which is kind of... Did I hear the follower bell? I heard a ding. Cerober 126. Welcome in. Why does it remind you of home? Because it hurts. Oh my God. All right, there was... Right there, there was your... Oh, yeah. There was your... according to the stats for the our let me move it back to this view. According to the stats, Over $500. We've raised $521 this week. I was hoping we'd hit 1,000. I'm not sure that's gonna happen. Maybe I needed to have different stretches, but I figure, every 100, like, Lego bricks, kind of fun. You have a few questions about the printers? Yeah, go ahead. Do they heat up the room? No. They at least this one doesn't. Even the bamboo doesn't seem to either. Do they produce fumes? I think that's all contingent on the filament, and I use PLA, so there aren't any fumes, so to speak. Now, I haven't done any measurement in air quality. Do 3D printers require a lot of power? No, I think just like an average laptop, from my understanding. I don't see any bumps in my I've got like one of those measurement tools, and it doesn't. I don't see any bumps. The only bump I see in electricity is when I'm streaming, and I don't think it's the light. I think it's the PC. The PC takes up most power because I'm doing like 13 different things, but it isn't the printer. The printer would have a minimum impact. I mean, if you plug in a computer, you're fine. There, according to Kieran, you get approximately 1.2 kilowatts of power. Or Steven saying 24 volts or kilowatt. Randy Kilowatt here. The only problem with this Lego stud is that I have to do it at like 50% in order for it to work somewhat seamlessly. Hey, no worries, Digital Dark Knight. Happy to help. We don't really have any affiliate account apart from Amazon right now. We should be doubling down on that, though. If George Lucas sent you a letter and it said, come down to Lucas Ranch and you can take one item from my personal collection, what would it be? I don't know. I wouldn't know. I wouldn't even know where to begin. There's a lot of people that can answer those questions for you, though, Digital Dark Knight. You got those burning questions. Inquiring minds want to know. I want to know. Good questions to ask. So AZ Pinoy is streaming, and he's doing the he's also doing the charity drive. So I think we're gonna raid him tonight. It's been a while. You went the Prusa Mini? Of course, Triple Venti. I've had a few issues with it, certainly. That I feel some things that I've done, the bamboo works better than the Prusa Mini. But it's I'm waiting for the bamboo. I printed last night. I printed that Vader figurine, right, in the new Polymaker Silk White. And it printed fine, but support removal was a nightmare. And I mean, not nightmare, but by comparison, I'm going to wait until the bamboo gets back before I try printing that again. It did not. I cracked it, unfortunately. I mean, it's fine. I'll give it away. So I'm sure someone will be happy with it and not care. But like when I print those out, I prefer not to break them when I'm removing the supports from it. The problem is specifically with that model, the helmet, you got to get supports in underneath the helmet. Otherwise, it doesn't print well. Sorober says that they run 5 to 10 printers at a time, and if they run 24/7, it goes up like $10. See, it's not that much. It hasn't been, or at least I haven't seen anything measurable on that. Oh, nice tissue box there, rainbow tissue box. A tombstone? Oh, the silver sunbeam. All the things, I'd say. Look at all those things. Hey, Disc 105. You missed it. Last night we were playing with Windows 95 because it was the 27th anniversary of Windows 95. And we were going down memory lane. It was a pain in the ass. I mean, I remember those days fondly. But I don't miss them. That's the thing. It's like, I don't miss them. I miss the early days of Mac OS. That I do miss those days. But did I hear the dial-up sounds? No, it was just a web emulator. Very slow, simple web emulator. It couldn't even. There was no sound card associated with it. It couldn't even play the Canyon MIDI. I did not have my AOL disk ready. I don't think you could load it. There were like local things that you could load. There's probably a better emulator out there. I did a quick search for it. An organizer program absolutely doesn't run anything later in Windows 2000. Oh my God, I would abandon that. Yeah, no. I think in my archive somewhere I probably have all the old utilities. Like 16-bit, I didn't really. I don't think I have any 16-bit programs, but 32-bit, 64-bit, nah, I wasn't into at that point. And then even with Mac, I don't run a lot of software. I don't. I just the things that I need. Web browser, honestly, web browser. That is the software, and then of course some local stuff, but it's mostly web browser, mostly. And even most of the photo management that I do is all web. I remember I didn't have WordPerfect. Well, I had WordPerfect in college, but there was another program. I want to say like a dictionary, like one of the famous dictionaries, like Webster's or someone had a word processor, and I loved it. And I can't find it again. Not like I would go back to use it, but see, we were flooded with AOL disks. Flooded. Everyone called them coasters. I'm like, yeah, but there's a hole in the middle. Used Microsoft Works in college? Wow. Works? Even then, I mean, Works was very, very watered down. Yeah, I kind of fell away from Microsoft Office in the era of when they started doing the ribbon interface. I don't think, I may have installed it once or twice, but I don't think I was running, by then I think I'd switched over to Google Docs. And for what I need, Google Docs has always been sufficient. More than sufficient, honestly. And I know there's Word Online and all that stuff, and I'm like, yeah, it's kind of overkill. I mean, yeah, it works, and there's compatibility, but it's kind of overkill. Oh, you have 3.5-inch disc. Nice. I have a Darth Vader AOL disc. I collected that. I've got a couple of them. They were Star Wars AOL discs. Did you know that? Yeah, no problem, Digital Dark Knight. Happy to help. And of course, if we weren't able to answer your questions here, we're on MakerDeck in between. You had a Tandy. Nice. In college, I did not have a laptop. The laptop would have been too pricey. I had a desktop, but I only had a desktop. See here, I was junior year, senior year, junior year. I got this crappy, just piece of junk, old PC, even by that day's standards. Like, not even a 386 PC for like $200, but it worked, and I could get online. And most of getting online was just text anyway. In a modem in a college dorm room. It's all I could afford, $200. But it got me online. And I remember thinking the modem was faster than the actual computer. And that's how I was able to to get into my Telnet into my BBSs at home. Or not at home, at college. So that was, I remember having that. And then upgrading or getting, God, it was a Packard Bell. That was more than $200. That was $2,000. I got a $2,000. That was the at that point, most expensive thing that I'd ever owned or purchased. And I think I requisitioned, I don't think it was from savings. I'm trying to remember how I got it. I remember it was 2000. I think I want to say I used loans, but it was all on the up and up. But yeah, I can't remember how I bought it. And it must have been. I think it may. A chunk of it may have been on, and the whole thing may have been on credit. Because I don't think I bought it cash. The whole thing may have been credit. And that was my first. Well, my first real computer was a piece of junk. The first PC that I owned was a 486 DX266. This is pre-Pentium days. The Pentium had not yet arrived. And so my first, that was my first, those are my first computers. Different ones, right? But like, I feel like my first computer that I really wanted to get was the $2,000 one. But I didn't get a laptop until after I graduated college. And even they were expensive. And I didn't travel all that much, so a laptop did not make that much sense. But I did have a laptop then. You know, I mean, it's always nice to have the options, though. You build a 386 using floppies for Windows install. Oh, nice. You got a Trash 80. Just found out the Kool-Aid Man plays on a baseball team. He's the pitcher. Ooh, D-Vader. That's good. Remember when I made a desktop into a laptop? Oh, okay. I remember the netbook craze. Everyone was going gaga over these netbooks. Your monitor was black and white? Well, let's see here. So our VIC-20 was it wasn't ours. My grandfather had a Commodore VIC-20, and that was connected to a black and white television. Our Commodore 64 was connected to a monitor. Same monitor that we also used for the Nintendo when we got it. Right around the same era. So, the Triple E PC. Yes. Yes, Crack Pyrex. For some reason, I don't know why. Yeah, an Acer Inspire one. I think it was a total turd. You know, it's funny. Like, there's just this. I know we're like right on the precipice of new Apple announcements, and I'm just like, it's bittersweet. And I think I've told Diana this. You know, it's bittersweet to me because I used to look forward to it. I used to look forward until it was the. I think the last new iPhone I looked forward to is the iPhone 8. That was it. And at that point, even then, I had one leg out of Apple's world. Mind you, I'm running a Mac. I like Mac OS. It's the software. It's never the hardware. So they're gonna come out with all this new hardware, and I'm like, yeah, but it's still running the same software. I've seen so many people complain. It's beta, admittedly, about Stage Manager, their new feature, especially on the iPad, but even on the Mac, people have been complaining about it. I'm like, yeah, I'm glad when I saw that, I thought, would I use that? I don't know if I want to use that. And that's the tentpole feature? You know, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm not saying Apple's run out of ideas, but the software is just not. Their software doesn't do it for me as much anymore. The Mac OS does it for me. I like Mac OS, but it's nothing like that excites me anymore. Not like it used to. Now it's just a stress. Software is a stress to me. So I get away with not installing as many things as I need. Apps on the phone, I'm minimal. And I minimized even on iOS, and I used to have tons of them. But it's just like it slows things down. It gets in the way of the things that I need to get to. There's no reason to install a billion apps like on your phone because it's not just taking up space. Forget taking up space. It's inconsequential. It takes up attention. And I've explained this before too. Like if you know, if you're trying to get to one thing, the more things you have to crawl over to get to that one thing, they're just getting in your way. They're wasting your time. Keep it lean, mean, and clean. Don't overload it. Don't overload yourself. This is the same reason why I turned off like 1 billion notifications. I don't have any freaking notifications. Or hardly any. I have messaging notifications. That's about it. But all the social media, turn it all off. Haven't used Android in years since the 6 Edge. Oh, I tell you what. The, Samsung is, as I feel, best in class for mobile software. It really is. Best in class. Perfect? No. Best in class. Having used iOS contemporaneously, I can tell you, Samsung does a better job with mobile software. There's far more spit and polish on Samsung's devices, despite its shortcomings. And there are plenty. Okay, so you're a mid-level person, Steven. That makes sense. Yeah, crack Pyrex. I guess I don't mind using an app if it makes sense, right? I was like, it's simple, it's straightforward. The new Discord app, it's on a new platform, and it's driving me nuts because there's lag in the reply when you go to reply or react to a message in Discord now. I'm on a 120 hertz screen, right? So it's a smooth refresh. And you can see it's capped at 60 or 30 frames per second. It's really bad. I'm like, I hope someone sees this. Many apps could be just web-based. I think they're going that way, Crack Pyrex. I think a lot of them are, honestly. I think, no. Discord is now, they just moved to React. They just moved to it. Let me see here. Oops. Discord new platform. It's probably in the news. Discord users complain about new Android built upon using cross-platform framework. React Native. Okay, so it's React Native. And they did that to and I don't mind that they did it, apart from that one issue. I don't mind the reason, but the implementation, they say that they did it. They moved to React Native to allow for feature consistency across platforms, which is great. If that speeds up development, right? I'm fine. Because Android development had lagged behind desktop and iOS because they use React Native. So now they're using the same platform. It makes sense. But, and this is an article on 9to5 Google. People have complained about it being laggy. And so the general sentiment is that they did not have issues with the usability of the previous client. For real. Like, it's a problem. And so it says, Discord's still retaining Android and iOS specific patterns in the UI. Yeah, but the problem is it's like, it's driving me nuts. But you can, theoretically, report a bug. I'm going to do that. Because you never know if they're going to fix it. Yeah, laggy. That's yep. It's so laggy. Laggy. So it needs some refinement. They are definitely not out of the woods there. Yep, see? The animation speed is pretty awful. So other people they see the same thing I see. And honestly, I think Android users notice these things more quickly than iOS users. I really do. iOS users, I think, are used to the slop and shop. And I'm telling you, I've got an iPhone, what is it, a 13 Pro Max, whatever the current Pro Max is, and scrolling in it is worse than scrolling. There's jank on iOS that doesn't exist on Android. There's no way of, I know what my eyes see, and I've been seeing it for years. And I'm telling you, and like Diana's Pixel 4 scrolls smoother. And Android 13 must have refined something because her Pixel 4 whips. It's fast. Like, I think Android, specifically on a Pixel, like, is the only, or a Pixel device is the only device that gets faster or easier, not easier, well, I guess with new features easier. It's the only one that improves over time. Like, I feel that Diana's Pixel 4 XL is faster now than it was the day that she got it. Not because of the hardware. The hardware didn't change. It's the software. Yeah, but Steven, it's not. I think fragmentation is not. I mean, is it an issue? Sure, but is it a huge issue? It is not. I can tell you definitively, it is not an issue. Oh yeah, Diana, because I take care. You want to see the schmutz I cleared off of Diana's phone today? And I don't mean digitally. I mean physically. I don't know what she's like. I don't know what she did. Here's what I think. You want to see my impression of Diana and her phone? She gets so much crap. She she chews like food and then shoves it into cracks and gets it all sticky and stuff. I'm like, what? I had to do something with her phone today because I'm trying to troubleshoot Jedi's watch. And I'm like, all right, it was just all sticky. I'm like, sticky. So I cleaned it off. The only thing I didn't clean was the actual screen. Because she cleans the screen. She doesn't clean anything else. I'm like, but you get crap in there. Like, I think she spills her coffee on her phone. And it seeps down the crevices and then it just gets sticky. There's no explanation. Like, it's sticky. Oh, Diana says it's always pristine. Yeah, I'll give Diana credit. I'll say this. She is using her watch. I will say this. Mostly. I still send messages, she doesn't see them. Or she doesn't reply. I'm like, hey, I need an answer. You need to do this. You need to... She still ignores messages, so having a watch doesn't help that. That's not even a joke. It's serious. She ignores messages. And then I don't know. I'm like, okay, then I'm going to need to follow. If I don't have an answer, then I got to follow up with it. I'm going to keep... This is the thing. If I need an answer to the question, I'm going to keep following up. You seem to get better responsive sense from the show. Yeah, you know... Apple doesn't pay attention to software performance. I'm saying it. Samsung actually does. I'm not saying Apple doesn't at all. By comparison, Diana is stressed. You should see her stress. Like, I'm right. I'm currently. Do I have my stress thing up? I don't even load the stress thing anymore because it's pointless for me. Because it's like I'm never stressed according to my watch. But let me open up. What time is it? Oh, that's the latest. Stress. Hit refresh. So right now I'm low average right now. Like, I'm active. I'm like just sitting here and being, whatever. So I'm relatively low, but I'm active. Like, my heart rate is, what am I at? 81, but I'm not just laying still, right? I'm doing things. I'm moving around. Diana's is off the charts. Like, it is literally like Samsung doesn't even have a number that goes that high for as stressed as Diana. Diana would just be sitting there doing nothing. And she look at her stress, and she's in the red. Like, what? How do you do that? I can't even get mad enough to get my stress level into the red. Even when I'm angry, I can never get to that level. And Diana's like, I don't know. I was just thinking. Yeah, Diane even stresses out when she sleeps. Anyway, so she is using her watch, and she's got I think she'll have a good pattern with it. I would like to encourage her to reply to messages that I know she sees when I have a question. Even a star. See, that's a great thing. Diana, someone texts you. Oh, look, my walkie-talkie's on. See, I keep it on just in case Diana needs me, and she's used it. Of course, when I need her, then it just She's not going to turn it on. I'm telling you, if I keep having to ask her to turn it on, I'm going to stop using it. Because there's no point. There's no point if the other person doesn't always have it on. You always have to remind them. There's 0 point. I can just message her, right? I'll just message her. But you can easily, on the watch, Diana, if you haven't seen, like when someone... Message me. Message me on my watch, Diana. Message me! Oh, yeah, don't use the keyboard. Your keyboard? Are you on your phone? I don't know about your phone keyboard. Don't use your phone. Use the dictation tool on the watch. The keyboard, I mean, it's fine, but no. Type a message. I was gonna show you what you can do. Like message me on Messenger. Okay, message me on Messenger. Hang on. Can you message me on Messenger? He's just like, I mean, standard watch. Hey, thank you, Triple Midi. Good to see you, Astronac. Glad you're still here, Subsector. No. Yes, you do. Message me from the desktop. Okay, go to your... go to Messenger. Type in anything. Use this. There. Reply to that. Reply to that message I just sent, Diana. No, yeah, not on your watch. Forget your watch. No, on your phone. I'm going to show you how to I'm going to show you how to reply on your watch quickly. Let me show you how easy it is. It's never been easier. It takes no effort. Voice to text is terrible. On the iPhone it is. Okay, look. Okay, so I got the message here. Diana Perillo. Clap. So then what I can do is just scroll down and look at all these messages. Look at all these, like, easy messages. Like, okay, she's clapping. Now I either tap the emote and send her an emote, right? That's easy. But like, hey, okay? If you get it, you just say okay and then send. It's just like that. It's that easy. It's so simple. Like, it takes no time at all. Oh, there's the message. Scroll down. Okay. Got it. Okay. That's it. It's nothing. It's... Astronac, you want to make it harder? Oh, you must have read the Diana manual. Because that's straight from the book of Diana. Yeah, Steven. See, we've pretty much moved on from a lot of Apple stuff. And the Apple stuff we do have is USB-C. Like the iPad, Jedi's iPad is USB-C. That's an iPad Pro recent gen? 5G? She'll have that iPad probably up until and through until she needs a Chromebook, probably. And Chromebooks are not a dime a dozen, but the best time to get a Chromebook is like around the holiday, like Black Friday. You can get pretty decent deals. Diana runs her Chromebook into the ground. Anyway, so I was showing Diana. Now there's no excuse to not reply. You literally, it pops up. You look at it, whoop, and then go, okay. The only reason that I use a tablet at this point, the Android tablet, we really went deep into tech tonight, didn't we? Is specifically I use it when I'm doing I'm using NDI on the tablet. I also use it for work. So I use it for both. But honestly, beyond those two use cases, it's primarily a work system, primarily. But then it doubles as I use it NDI when I'm doing the streaming. It's just easier. It's big. It is very large. But I'm able to take care of a good chunk of all the tasks that I need to handle on it. The iPad Pro, because of software, just didn't keep up. Sorry, I'm horrible. I sometimes leave the phone in the car and desk or whatever. Did you get my message? Me, huh? On my phone is my car. Sorry. The watch kind of fixes it, but the thing is that these are not LTE watches, so you have to be close enough to your phone in order to get the message on there. Otherwise, it'll say boop boop. Oh, apparently my phone is not in range. But that's good too, because sometimes Diana misplaces her phone, so now she'll be able to swipe over and go to find my phone. Not really. Big fan. It's been hovering like this ever since the 2 raids. Good try, though. Good try. Valiant attempt. Ooh. Oops. It's a weird little email. That did not smell right. Oh, congratulations, Astronac. On Sundays, you leave my phone in the backpack, so I'm a rebel. Hey, go for it. You do you. All right. We're going to be raiding AZ Pinoy, who's also doing the fundraising. Float into him. He'll be happy. He's building. It looks like he's sketching right now. He's got a QR code on his screen, huh? And he's got the Maker Deck logo up, of course. I appreciate that. I'll see you on Maker Deck in between. It's been a good day. It's been a good evening. I love you. I appreciate you. And at this point, I'm going to leave you to your own devices, and may the Force be with you always. I'm going to continue to watch see what I mean? And then printing on Maker Deck, of course, overnight. I'll be flipping back to the white. I gotta open a white, I think, and then printing another skull. I want to try to whip through the skulls. I whip my skull back and forth. I whip my skull back and forth. I whip my skull. So, thank you for being here. Thank you for the lively conversation. Use the Perillo Raid emote if you are so inclined, or the Maker D1 Raid. AZ knows us well. He's a fellow AFOL doing True Bricks. Me, I just walked on Lego bricks for you tonight. Thank you again for subscribing. Thank you for the cheers. And thank you for the wonderful chat. Good, engaging chat. I like commiserating like this. Thank you very much. Here we go. Tuscan rating AZ Pinoy in 3, 2, 1. Okay, now I know. I did that one right. Son of a gun. Ooh, there we go. Ooh, yeah.